Hi, I'm Ilene Wells. I'm from Saugerties, New York, upstate New York, and I'm here to talk about my brother, Paul Flannery. He was first committed, his first psychotic episode was at the age 16. We found out later that it was after he had done PCP and acid at the same time. It was a week before his first psychotic episode. Our family's insurance ran out after a year, and I have 9 other siblings, and so my family was told that the best thing for him and for my family was for him to be committed. And at the age of 17, he was committed to the state mental hospital system in New York. And I'm not here to talk about the evils necessarily of the state hospital system. I'm here to talk about the effect of the deinstitutionalization on the patients, because my brother was in the system for over 22 years, the age of almost 38, almost 40. By the way, he's my twin as well, so it had a double impact on me. Not only did I lose him to schizophrenia at the age of 16, but then also later from lung cancer. But when he was, in my sense, pushed out of the state mental institutions, he went on a roller coaster ride for the next 10 years leading up to his death. And that went from being in group homes that did not take care of his personal hygiene needs. There were times where there were no sheets on the bed. He lost his clothing. He must have given it away. You couldn't give him any kind of thing, anything of value. It would disappear. And he cycled through the local psych wards, back to the state hospital, back to group homes, and that went on until he died in May of 2008. He was able to get into a nursing home a year before he died, and the only reason he was able to get 24-hour care was because he had emphysema. So after 30 years of smoking, and at 1976, when he was first admitted, the evils of smoking wasn't quite as prevalent, and they allowed smoking in the state hospitals, which they don't now. But in the group homes, because he was considered emancipated and could make his own decisions, even though he thought he was James Bond and had 200 babies that came out of his teeth, and was a kung fu star in Korea, made millions of dollars. He was allowed to make his own decisions, and he was put in a apartment complex, went without food at one point for a month, and we found out that the caseworker had given him forms to get a new food stamps card and did not follow up on him actually submitting it. And when my sister asked the caseworker about it, when we first found out about it, she said, well, I gave him the forms. Okay, he thought he was James Bond. You expect a person like that to fill out a form and turn it in? No. And the main, I guess, conclusion I want to make about this is that there are people that will never recover, and unfortunately, we have to admit that. And as much as NAMI and other mental health organizations focus on recovery and being back in the community and self-reliance, we have to remember there are people out there who will never recover like my brother. He never had a day without a delusion. He never had a day that he didn't talk about something crazy. And even if you could talk about like the weather, we would take him bowling, we would go to a movie. But if you started talking to him about it, he would come up with some crazy thing. I took him to see A Night at the Museum, and as we were going there, he said, oh yeah, I wrote that movie. So, I mean, it was constant. And we need to get that pendulum back to the point where the people are getting adequate care. And unfortunately, that means we really need to redraw that line to say that there are certain people that need to be in treatment, possibly for the rest of their lives. So I guess what I'd like to say is that I'm Ilene Wells, and if I can talk about mental illness, so can you.